Hi everyone. Right now I'm going to go through the abstract and the introduction sections of your research project. Okay. Now the abstract is one of the sections that students can often get very confused with because it may not be something that you've ever written before. It may not be something that you've read until you've actually gone out and looked at academic journals or literature. Okay. Now, the best way to describe an abstract is almost like the blurb of a book or the summary of a book to find out whether or not it's something that you want, you're interested in, that you want to read. So the abstract should be one of the last things you write. It should be in past tense. So instead of saying this project will, you'll be saying this project has, because the person is reading this now, knowing that you have done your research, you've completed your project, and this is you telling them some really basic information about what you found so that they can see if the project is going to be useful for them. Okay. You need to explain your overall findings in your abstract, so almost like a mini conclusion so that the reader knows already what you have found out. So if you have proved, disproved, or neither for your hypothesis, it should state that somewhere in the abstract. I'll be looking for that when I'm marking your work. It's just basically a summary. We're not looking for an introduction. We're not looking for basic information about your topic. We're looking for a generalized summary of your study in the abstract. Okay. It should not be very long. It should be around about half a page, double line spaced, even less. Areas like that, you're not going to get a lot of criteria for. So don't try and make them the most bulkiest parts of your project. They can be relatively small and still be fantastic and still really fit the purpose of your research. Okay. Next, we have our introduction. Now, the introduction to the whole project is going to be different from the introduction in your literature review or the introduction in your evaluation. Okay. So different sections can have their own introductions because they have a purpose on their own. The literature review has its own purpose. The evaluation has its own purpose. But the whole project itself needs to be introduced to the reader. In this, you could add some facts, some explanations, some reasons and rationales behind the research being studied. You can use some quotes, some statistics. So this can be information that you didn't put in your literature review, but you still want the reader to know before they start sort of delving into some more specific information that you're going to tell them later on. So really, some of the information that you may have put in your literature review already, you may actually want to take that out and put it in your introduction instead, as it may help the writing to flow better instead of having repeated information about your topic in the introduction and then the literature review. Okay, please, whatever you do, if you put a statement or a fact in your introduction, we do not want to then read it again in your literature review or anywhere else in your project. Try and be original each time that you're introducing a section. Otherwise it becomes very, very repetitive and it feels as though you're just constantly repeating yourself instead of explaining the aims of what you actually are trying to tell the reader. Okay. The next video is going to be about the literature review. Obviously, it's the biggest section of your project, so it's very important. And students can often struggle with this. It's one of the biggest pieces of writing you have to do. And of course, it's non-opinion based. It needs to be completely from academic literature. So please go on and have a look at the literature review. Make sure that yours fits that purpose. And if you need to do any editing, just listen to what I say and work with it.